That's the hardest thing to do in life. Now, here's the context, and this is why this bad advice, at least to me, makes sense, is because it says, where do you find the strength to keep going when those around you, family included, don't believe in you and just want you to quit? The context to me is that you don't want to quit.
I've built many startups, most of them have failed, so Bitcoin is exactly the place that I like to be.
We're going to end it right there. What's up? Welcome, guys, to the inaugural first episode of Bad Advice with me, Peter, the Bitcoin Lambo. This is a new segment that I have been wanting to do for a long while. And actually, I had opportunities to do this pre-Sunday sermon and other things like that. But this is something that I really wanted to begin with my new behind-the-scenes group that you can find, link below. And I wanted to be able to give back in a deeper way. I wanted to give back in a closer way to people who are part of the behind-the-scenes and are really interacting with us and helping other people improve. And so you can find that, again, link below. It's called the Bitcoin Lambo Podcast, Things You Didn't Learn in School community group on yen.io. So find the link below and you can join that. One of the benefits of joining is that you get to get these videos sooner, faster. So these are going to be unlisted and given out to the behind the scenes group probably a week or maybe even 2 weeks in advance to public launch. So that's the benefits of being part of the community, plus other stuff as well. But let's just jump right in, because I don't really know exactly how this format's supposed to go. I mean, who the hell really knows? But what I wanted to do is I just wanted to give off the cuff just advice to someone who is asking for it. And the context is, the title is, right, bad advice. So you have to come into this with a heart of that you're probably going to get really bad advice from someone who is completely has no idea about your context whatsoever. And so I'm just shooting from the hip based on what I would do and based on my context, personality, drivers, internal incentives, I can't even say it, and things that internally motivate me. And so this is just coming from my heart straight to you guys. And so I want to thank Chris Anderson. Thanks for being part of our Bitcoin Lambo podcast, yen.io community. You asked the first question, and your question was this. Thanks, Chris. He says, where do I find the strength to keep going? Where do I find the strength to keep going when those around you, family included, don't believe in you and want you to quit? Fuck. That is a rough place to be. We as men live in a constant state of tension. There's madness with us, isn't there? Isn't it maddening, the life of man? I mean, as I think about the life of man and the tension between dreams, desires, goals, and responsibilities, this is a tension that is so deeply ingrained and felt in men. And I don't know anything about women, so I'm just talking about men here. So deeply ingrained with men, at least the men that I've been able to talk to and communicate to about this tension, that it's just something that for some men is just so, it can be heartbreaking. It can be soul crushing. The tension between my dreams and my goals and personal fucking responsibility. Let's talk about it. You see, when it comes to dreams and goals, these things are things that you manifest in yourself. These are things that you have been conjured up in your spirit, in your soul, in your brain, or they were programmed into you by some sort of television program or some human or some adult figure or authority figure. There's a reason why you have dreams and goals as a man. And there's a reason why they're also shattered and destroyed. In many ways, man cannot figure out how to balance dreams, aspirations, goals, and personal responsibility. So let's talk about this side. You guys know I'm a huge fan of personal responsibility. You are where you are because it's your fault. Let me say that again. You are here where you are because it's your fault. No one else's. Oh, someone did something to you. Oh, I've had gut bleeding, gut wrenching, soul crushing experiences too, of betrayal, of terrible things. I've been there. So have you. But I'm not whining about it. I'm not complaining about it. I'm taking full responsibility for my life. I am here because of me. Yeah, shit happened, but I'm here because of me. Now, I think we can all hopefully agree with that. But the second part, the tension is that there's the personal responsibility that society, that social norms, social constructs, family, culture plays on a man as well. You see, society and culture, what they have is there's these norms that are often portrayed in Hollywood or portrayed in shows or portrayed in any type of mass media where it is usual that a man does X. It is usual that a man does Y. It is usual for a woman to do Z. It's usual these right. These are the norms of complacency. These are the norms of average and weak minds, in my opinion. Because if you do what everyone else does, you're going to end up where everyone else is. That's as easy as it is. If you do what everyone else does, you're going to end up where everyone else is. That's how it works. And so the thing that I used to wrestle with, but I don't wrestle with it as much, clearly, is the societal pressures, the worldly assumptions, the worldly perceptions, the worldly norms that are placed on me. I was just in an office the other day, and one of my friends who is an investment banker invited me down to this office in Buckhead, and I went down there and I was wearing something exactly like this: shorts, and I got my Nikes, my Air Force Ones. I got a T-shirt on, and I smell a little bit because I've been in the garage all day, and I don't think I had taken a shower that day. And I'm sitting there with a suit, and a suit. Don't care. Those social norms don't affect me. They don't mean nothing to me. And you know why? Because they wanted to invest in me. And I was the one that looked like shit and smelled like shit. You see, I don't prescribe to the social norms. I don't prescribe to social pressures, cultural pressures, familial pressures. Get over that shit. Get over that shit. I will tell you guys, and it sounds harsh, but I'll tell you, Chris, when it comes to family, I put family in the same ring of influence as everybody else. You know, when you want to know my 3 rings of influence, it's really simple. There's the core, which is me, my wife, and my 2 kids, and the bunny. and the bunny, okay? So that's the core, right? Me, my wife, the 2 kids, and the fucking bunny. That'll never change, okay? That'll never change. This is the core. Then there's the second ring, okay? The second ring is you've been able to come into my house. You've been in my home. That's like less than 10. There's not a whole lot of people there. And then there's a third ring, where most everyone else is. And there's little tiers to it, but it doesn't really matter. The third ring is pretty much where everyone else is, family included. You see, the problem is with having this tension between goals and societal and family pressures is it can destroy you. It can completely destroy you, right? And you ask me in this question here, where do I find the strength? Let me answer that. You already have the strength. You ask the question, where do I find the strength to keep going when those around you, family included, don't believe in you, want you to quit? Where do you find the strength? You already have the strength. You just have to have a reason for using it. Everyone has the strength. Everyone has the strength to persevere. Everyone has the strength to persevere. You just haven't had to use that strength towards a goal, a worthy goal, or been in a position where it is required of you, like war. You know what the thing about war is? War turns ordinary men into extraordinary men. That's what war does. Because what war does is it creates a situation that could never have been controlled or forced or moved towards by someone in their own right mind. No person in their right mind would be running into a battlefield with the chance of bullets flying, bombs overhead. No one willingly wants to do that unless they've been put in a position because they signed up or they were conscripted, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to get into that. It ruins the point. The point is that war makes ordinary men extraordinary. And then they go back to Kansas. And then they go back to Idaho. They go back to Georgia. They go back to Louisiana. They go back to Texas after the war's over. And they're just regular men again. And so you already have the strength. You already have the strength to persevere. And so let's get to it. The tension is this: goals and dreams, social pressures, and personal responsibility. You know what the hardest thing to do in life? The hardest thing to do in life is to be yourself. It's to be yourself. And that's why I will say in today's bad advice that being yourself and striving for your goals and dreams is far more important than this other side. Because in being yourself, because being yourself means you have goals, you have visions that you have conjured up, right? Being yourself, and I'm just pulling from me here, is that the bad advice is that I have goals and visions, maybe just like I have unrealities that I create in my mind. Things that I want to do, places I want to be, people I want to meet with, creations I want to build. Right? These are things that can only be conjured up, can only emerge in my heart, my soul, my brain. And to pursue those, no one else could ever conjure up those things. No one else is ever going to have that vision, that goal that you're going to have. You're the only one in this time and space that can achieve that goal, because it came from you, and that's from yourself. So to be true to yourself and be yourself, that's the hardest thing to do in life. Now, here's the context, and this is why this bad advice, at least to me, makes sense, is because it says, where do you find the strength to keep going when those around you, family included, don't believe in you and just want you to quit? The context to me is that you don't want to quit, because you believe so strongly in this. And I would assume, my assertion would be, is that if you are able to grind and persevere on this goal, this dream, this hustle, this vision, this unreality that you have, then there will be value that is given to your family. Financially, a future that you can open up, opportunities that your kids would never have because you're being able to grind out and be able to achieve those opportunities for them. Like there's a multiplicity of things. So I have to come into this context assuming that you want to do your family right. Fuck society, just your family. Remember, that's the core. Core is the only thing that matters anyway. That you want to do your family right. But they, like society, believe that you should quit. Today's bad advice: be yourself. Do the hardest thing. Become an extraordinary person by doing what you have in mind and achieving that goal, and believing that you can do it, and working harder than anyone else to do it. Don't believe, please, don't believe that you're going to be able to achieve your dreams, Chris Anderson, if you're not willing to work harder than anyone else that you know. Right? That's the underside. Right? The fine print is that you have to work harder than everyone else that you know to achieve it. So I guess that's the qualifier for today's bad advice. Go and be your fucking self. But if you're not willing to work harder than everyone else to do it, then maybe you should quit. That's it, guys. That's the end. Chris, I hope this was somewhat helpful. If it wasn't, you know what? It's just today's bad advice. And you know what? I'm going to give out a lot of bad advice. If you'd like to ask me questions so that I can give you bad advice, make sure that you check out the links below in the show notes and in the first comment And you can join the Bitcoin Lambo podcast. Things you don't learn in school, or you didn't learn in school, behind the scenes, yen.io community. I'll see you guys there. That wasn't bad. Was it really bad advice? Maybe.